Welcome to the Turkey Hunter Podcast, the original all-turkey, all-the-time podcast with your co-hosts Andy Gagliano and Cameron Weddington.
In our weekly podcast, we're going to bring you some wild turkey calling tips like this.
From there, we're going to go into, she's aggravated, there's another hen that's challenged her, or she's challenging another hen. She's going to cut an excited yelp.
Advice from old pro turkey hunters like this.
The turkeys typically don't like, I think, more times than not, to travel in an easterly direction into the sun first thing in the morning, especially after he gets up. It's a blinding thing. It's just like you. It's hard for you to see into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a choice, I'm going to try to make it so that I'm going to be on the west side in the morning, east side in the afternoon of a turkey.
Exciting live hunts like this.
Holy crap, they're coming. Holy cow. Oh, God.
Then we're going to teach you how to cook your bird with advice such as this.
With some fresh rosemary and garlic, and then cool that off and spread that along the inside of that butterflied turkey breast that we've seasoned on both sides.
Wildlife management tips for your property, especially with turkeys like this.
If you look at the type of habitats that turkeys need for nesting and brooding, that tends to be habitat that can be managed more successfully with growing season fire than with dormant season fire.
And hopefully along the way, we'll get plenty of these.
Well, on November the 28th of 1953, I was attached. When I popped out of my mom and the baby doctor spanked me on the bottom, I went, oh! And I've been doing it ever since.
I like that.
Thank you for tuning in. And now, for this week's show. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Turkey Hunter Podcast. You are listening to episode number 541, Turkey Call Making with Ricky Padgett. And I am your co-host and the guy who has been doing some trapping right around the old homestead.
Man, very nice. Same with me. I have my giant trap line of one dog-proof trap out and finished off Raccoon 34 2 nights ago, and Raccoon 35 was on camera last night.
Wow, man. I've got exactly 200% more dog-proof traps out than you do.
Oh, man. You put out a heck of a line.
Yeah. It takes me, with travel time and everything, it takes me approximately 28 seconds to check my trap line. That includes all of my chipmunk traps.
According to the experts, it's time wasted, man. You should spend that time on habitat improvement.
Yeah, I should. Probably burn the backyard. Just hack and squirt back there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But Tammy wouldn't mind so much. Just the neighbors and the fire department, who's right around the corner, they would probably mind more than anyone.
Got a prescribed fire scheduled through the azaleas for this winter.
Yeah, get out there with my leaf blower, blow the leaves away from my hardwood tree trunks, and let her rip.
Yeah, I'm going to use the pool as a break this year. We'll go the other side. I like it.
I could run the garden tiller as my fire lane.
There you go.
To make fire lanes and get some early special habitat growth. It'd be perfect.
And you are officially done. Is Black Death put away?
Black Death is laid out on the floor. Just every time I look over there, she's like, just put me in the truck and let's go. But I'm ignoring her. Got to stay true.
You got the big wedding coming up.
Yeah, we've got 10 days. No, I'm sorry. 11 days before the wedding, 10 days before the big shindig after rehearsal dinner party that we're throwing, and yeah, I'm ready for it. Yeah. So Tammy's feeling a lot better. She's got a good bit of the planning done. We've got to give the caterer a final count, which we have now for the after rehearsal dinner party. So it's here. We're pretty much ready. She's feeling much better, and once it's over, I'm sure she's going to breathe a huge sigh of relief. So,
I am confident that will be the case. Well, good luck with all of that.
Thank you.
And
you've got a trip coming up, another turkey trip coming up here soon.
You know, I always like to do a final hurrah around Memorial Day, and it provides its challenges with late season and seems to get more and more challenging per year as more and more people get into this thing. But I'm going to go give it one more rip, taking the whole family, and we're going to have a big trip. And I'm going on a family trip, but I'm going to take my gun and slip away for a few hours in the mornings.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a big time. Let me take that back. I know it's going to be a big time. Whether or not turkeys die or not, I don't know, but I will have a chance. And so I'm excited. Get to do both.
Well, I will say that I feel pretty confident that at least a turkey will die on the trip. So I think you guys are going to have a great time. I know Josie's going to have a blast. It'll be a big time for her. So
yeah, if I'm struggling, I have to go do some door knocking. I got the secret weapon. I'll just break Josie out. Here we go, sweetheart. Go ask this farmer here if we can hunt his property. I'll have the keys to the kingdom.
You will. If there is a human being on the face of this earth that can tell that face no, it's not anybody I want to do business with.
That's right. I don't want to hunt on their land anyway at that point.
No. Mm-mm.
Man. Well, we have a great episode for everybody today. From way back before the most glorious time of year began for most, we had Ricky Padgett join us on a call in early March, and he came recommended from a listener and friend of mine who said we need to have him on. And I'm glad we did. We had a great conversation with Ricky. He's a call maker, specializes in trumpets, and we talked, typical first conversation with somebody on the podcast. We're just all over the place talking about turkeys, habitat management, trapping, calling, everything. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, it was a good one. I do. We've mentioned this before. I do love these first-time guests. And don't get me wrong, our repeat guests are always awesome. But I do like having first-timers on the show. So
yeah,
good to hear some differences of opinions and some different thought processes and that kind of thing. And this one's no different. What do you think?
I think see everybody on the other side. Hey, everybody. Welcome back this week. We've got a fun guest lined up for everybody. This is Mr. Ricky Padgett. He's with Spring Allure Game Calls, and we had it recommended to us from a listener to get Ricky on. Said he might be a good guest to join us for the podcast, and we love getting new folks on the show who've not joined us before. So, Ricky, how you doing right now?
Good, man. Great to be with y'all guys. How are y'all?
I cannot complain. The trees are budding, turkeys are starting to feel it, and we're about back in this thing. The long wait has ended.
That's about right, man. It is feeling good. It's feeling like spring, that's for sure.
It is.
Oh, I know.
We went from winter to summer, and then now we're back in spring right now, weather-wise. So, yeah, I'm digging where we are today, and tomorrow looks pretty nice too, but then we're going to be warm on Sunday, cold front on Monday, Tuesday. So, yeah, it's typical early spring. You never know what you're going to get day to day.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
That's it.
I'm ready.
Hey, Ricky, you're in South Carolina, is that correct?
That's correct. That's right. Yeah, low country in South Carolina, about middle way.
All right. And with your call company, do you make all kind of calls, or do you have a specialty, box calls, slates, wing bones, trumpets?
Yeah, so primarily into trumpets right now, but I've started out doing pot calls. That's what I started with, 16, 17 years ago. And navigated the trumpets, and that's what I primarily do now. I still make pot calls for people, but I love a trumpet call, always have, and that's what I primarily stick with right now, to be honest with you.
Man, probably a good idea. The trumpet. Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
No, I was just going to ask when you kind of transitioned from. Have you always hunted with a trumpet? And
I have. I've been hunting with a trumpet close to 20 years now. Yeah, I've been hunting with a trumpet for quite a while. So just came to pass. I have a bunch of different trumpets that I've used over the years from different call makers, and just decided to make my own. So that's kind of how I got into actually building them and relying on them. So yeah, always used one, either that or Wingbone. Started out with that years ago, a long time ago, and then transitioned to a trumpet. Got good with it, and just decided to make my own. And that's where we're at with that. Yep, sure enough.
Very cool. Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. I mean, it seems like the trumpet has become a much more popular item, I feel like, in the past 3 years than before.
Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, so it has. And I think because of social media and just being able to widely see that on a different level now, and the fact that there's a lot of people who are using it now and becoming extremely proficient and running it to its optimal level and just sounding so good with it, it's brought it into a different light. Usually, I think it used to be looked at as a novelty item, kind of like a Wingbone at one time.
Yeah.
And now people are actually seeing it for what it is and understanding that instrument can strike an interest in a turkey like no other, call that you use. I'm not saying it's a magic bullet by any means, but it does resonate with a turkey, it seems like, differently than any other instrument or tool that you would use. I think that every call has its place and every turkey has its day, but I feel like a trumpet does hit them on a different level and resonates with them differently as far as making them act differently or respond differently. That's my opinion. Now, I do make them and I rely on them solely for the most part in the woods, so I am kind of biased, I guess, in that way. But I feel like they do work very well. And yeah, to answer your question, we are seeing them become extremely popular in the last 3 years. I've seen them become extremely popular actually in the last 10 to 15. But over the last 3 years, I think because of social media and other people, and like I said, the digital presence of seeing this, mass publicized is easier now. And there are people who are ultra realistic at running them, so it helps with making it well known.
Yeah. I think you pretty well nailed that. And I'll tell you, the day I started wearing a trumpet around my neck, Brendan and I were hunting a turkey, and the turkey was gobbling, and I always thought I was a decent caller. I thought I was good enough. I'd killed some turkeys. I called, that turkey didn't even think about me. Called again, he didn't think about me. My buddy hit his trumpet, and that turkey turned inside out. And I thought, oh, okay, he just wasn't ready yet. I called again, turkey didn't even think about me. Dude hit the trumpet again, turkey turned inside out, flew about 800 yards straight to us, and we shot him.
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm going to carry one of those from now on.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, like I said, that, a lot of people get caught up and they think that they're like I said, there is no magic bullet by any means. There's something that it takes a while to master. All right, so I'm going to say that from the get-go and not let everybody think it's just ultra easy to use, because it just like anything else. You pick up a slate call or a pot call. Remember the first time you ever used a diaphragm? How long did it take you to get proficient with that? So it's one of those things. It just takes some getting used to as far as using it. But once you get to use it and learn how to use it properly, it's deadly. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to work a diaphragm after 35 years. Maybe one day.
You're almost there.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's the same about pot and peg and even a push-pull call, still trying to figure those out too.
Yeah. Man.
Well, best thing to do is get in front of live turkeys and real turkeys and actually, mimic them, That's the biggest thing. That's why I tell people with trumpets, they always ask me, they're like, what should we do as far as learning how to use it? And I'm like, well, no better time than now. Take it with you. Don't leave it at home. Take it with you. Get in front of some real turkeys and mimic them. That's all there is to it. Or try to mimic them. They'll tell you. They're the ultimate judge, and they'll tell you whether you're doing right or wrong. That's all there is to it. Trial by fire, in my opinion. That's how I've learned a lot of the, turkey hunting over my lifetime is trial by fire. That's it.
Yeah. First time I ran one, I mean, pretty much I was Mark Prudhomme right out the box the way I was. It's just 5-10 minutes. I was there. Trumpets is nothing.
Kind of hard. It's pretty strong. It's kind of hard to beat that.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. No, that I feel like of all the turkey calls, a diaphragm is. I mean, you definitely have to learn on that. But I would say trumpets and wingbone suction type calls are just such a meticulous thing. The way you hold the call, the way you cup the end of the call. how much pressure, how the suction. I mean, it's just there's so much to it, and you have to recreate it perfectly to get that sound that you're wanting.
And that's it takes that's a daily grind as far as learning it. That's what really kills a lot of people as far as using it, because they, as turkey hunters, the vast majority of people who hunt, during the spring, they pick their vest up in March and they put it back down in May and they don't touch it again until next March. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like their call's the same deal. With this tool, you really need to, to become proficient with it, you need to use it daily and run it to learn exactly what it can do and how to draw air. That's an overly important part of the whole, system of running a wind instrument, is learning how to draw air and control air, controlling it, drawing, using your hands as a baffle system around the end of the call to baffle air and break it down. You can slow air down, slow it down, make it softer, open your hands up, make it louder. I mean, it's a dynamic call, but it takes all of those things together to run it proficiently. So, like I said, it's a different animal for certain, but when it shines, it shines. That's all there is to it. There isn't anything that I would want to take to the woods with me other than that, to be honest with you, as far as calling the turkey in.
Yeah. One thing I like to ask people about, we talk to people from all over the country, and South Carolina's had a lot of changes to y'all's regulations in the past couple of years. Do you have any thoughts on those? Are you happy with the delayed opener? Does it not matter? That kind of thing?
Well, I can't tell you that am I happy? I'm happy to see turkeys. I want to see turkeys in a better position than what they were. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have the answer, because I can give you, like everybody else, a list of variables that have probably caused the decline, but I can't factually point to any one of them and say, hey, this is it. I think we've all beaten that dead horse about as much as we can in that regard. I know that I love turkeys and I want to see more of them. I want to be able to hunt them as long as I can. I want my children to be able to hunt them as much as they can. And I want them to enjoy them like I did growing up. And I want to keep that fire and that interest going for them. So whatever we're doing, I hope we're doing it for the betterment of the bird itself. Okay. Do I think that the delayed opener is helping? I think it is. Yeah, I think we're really early in this infancy of the changing of the early opener dates. You know what I'm saying? To be able to say that is 100% helping.
Yeah.
But I want to believe it. I want to believe it is. Yeah, I do want to believe that. I do believe that the less you interfere in breeding process early in the season, I believe that has got to help nesting success some. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that it's not helping at all. I really do think that's going to help, because I do believe we inject ourselves early in the season, and that does mess things up, if that's just an easy way to put it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I hope that we're doing things for the turkey and for the right reasons. I hope what we're doing, and I think I think everybody, a lot of different states now are starting to open their minds up to different thought processes in this thing. And some states are saying that early opener, delaying the opener isn't helping. Some are still sticking by it is helping. I don't know if anybody really knows, because if we really knew, I think we'd all be on a static plan together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there is some good for everybody doing something a little bit differently, so we can try to fast track this and find the right way, the right blueprint for this. You know what I'm saying? To try to get birds back on the uptick.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have whole states now, Tennessee, which is where I am, South Carolina, Alabama's delayed a little bit. So we have whole states doing this thing, and we should be able to, I would think, in 3 to 5 years, know if this worked. And I mean, my opinion, and I would hope all turkey hunters' opinions would be, if waiting 2 weeks to start hunting means more turkeys, all in. I mean, what an easy solution. Like,
I'm right there with you. Now, I will say this. Growing up in South Carolina, we were always accustomed to a mid-March opener, March 15th. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's something about hunting early season turkeys that it's awesome. That's all there is to it. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're, for the most part, flocked up a lot. And it's something that I will miss to a certain extent. But if the trade-off is more turkeys down the road, then I'm 100% all in as well. I do not mind. I don't care about that as much as I do about having turkeys and continuing to have turkeys.
Yeah. I think most turkey hunters are that way. I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. I hope so as well. Like I said, I like shooting turkeys and I like hunting turkeys just as much as anybody else, okay? But I do want to continue to see an uptick of turkeys rather than a dwindling amount and discussions around what else can we stop doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see any more regulation. Rather, I want to see a proactive uptick in bird numbers rather than an reactive, laws or whatever else, regulation for us to stop, you know what I'm saying, doing something.
Yeah. I think most people are that way. And I guess if it looks like delaying the season helps, 0%, then yeah, I probably would rather go ahead and start when we used to start. You probably would too. If it's like, hey, if we're able to tell this didn't do anything,
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I think like I said, there's so many variables that come into it. And I think the main deal here is just trying to find out why your nesting success and your poult, production is just so low. Is it because that we're not giving them time to breed and get the stuff done? I guess that's what we're trying to figure out. And that's the deal. If we're not getting there, if our poult production is still low, less than a bird and a half per hen of, recruitment, then we're still not doing much there in that regard. So I don't know. I think that's the answer they're trying to find here, and I really do hope they find it. I'm supportive of that as long as it means more turkeys. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, because South Carolina's hatch data, if it's accurate, it's been pretty rough for a while.
It's horrible. That's all there is to it.
It's been really bad.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. We're big trappers. My family is, and I'll say, and like I said, again, variables. There's so many variables to turkey. Turkeys are, like I said, it's undeniable that how they survive, just period, is unbelievable. From egg till death, they are being hunted every single way, that there is. They got the weather variables, predation, us as hunters, sickness, so forth and so on. Something's always trying to get them. That's all there is to it. So, we predator manage all of our properties and everything else, and even for a lot of other people. And that's a big variable. I don't think, and it's become more enlightened in the last few years. That's a huge thing. Predator management. Getting the predators out of there, especially during nesting season or pre-nesting season, so those nests have a chance to survive. That hen has a chance to incubate properly without being harassed or pushed off or have to re-nest or so forth and so on. People don't put enough merit into that, especially pre-nesting stage, okay? That's when you need to be getting your predators off the property, getting them out of the way, because they're no longer a variable in the mix. One mouth that's gone is one mouth that ain't gonna eat. That's the way we see it. Simple as that.
Yeah. Are you guys typically trapping nest predators, or are you trapping both nest and your, what I'm going to call your adult turkey predators, but we eat anything from eggs to adult turkeys?
Everything, across the board.
Okay.
We're going into a property and we're hitting coyotes, bobcats, and we're hitting nest predators as well once we're in there. That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
The thing about it is, it's an ongoing battle with this is something that people really need to do. This is just a part of your management routine every year. You need to be hitting your predators every year on a yearly basis to keep them back, because once you get rid of them, eventually they're going to filter back in. Coyotes, they're territorial. They'll come back into the area. Once you pull coyotes out, there's more coming back. Coons, same thing. You have more infiltrate the area. Once they find a food source that's available, they're going to come back in. Bobcats, coyotes, coons, the whole 9 yards, they come back. So you just got to hit them every year. That's all there is to it. It's a continuous battle.
Yeah, it's part of land management, just like planting the food plots and all this other stuff. You got to do it every year, and I'm definitely a believer in it. I was out this morning and I literally could not tell you how many traps out this morning between the coon cuffs and the cage traps, and then these kill boxes I made for bobcats, and then the footholds for the coyotes, and should be a fun time on the trap line in the morning.
There you go. It's like Christmas every morning, for sure.
Yeah. It is fun. I have to say, especially that, to me, the first day you run the big line you put out is the most fun, because it's just like, all right, here we go.
Yep.
Hopefully get lots of critters. Even put a couple beaver traps out, because they're flooding our woods too. So we're going.
Oh yeah, beaver. That's a different animal right there to trap for sure. That's work right there. That is work.
Yeah. Tearing out his dam was a lot of work too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
You
like
gotta respect
I said,
them, though. Those jokers can work.
they will get it done overnight. Once you break it up overnight, it's gonna be put back together. That's for certain.
I know. It's unbelievable.
That is for certain. Yeah, man, turkey's got to go through a lot, man. Like, you think about it when you got turkeys on a piece of property and you're worried about, people don't think about it, but as far as what it takes for a hen to raise a nest and raise those poults through everything they go through, especially when you're worried about a variable like weather, which is so unpredictable. If you're solely relying on good hatch weather every year, you're at the will of Mother Nature as far as what your production is going to be. If you add something like predator management into that, at least you have a foot forward by taking those mouths that will be raiding the nest that would be raided normally. You know what I'm saying? You're in a better position when you have bad hatch weather, is what I'm getting at. If you have both of those happen at the same time, if you're having predation happen simultaneously with bad hatch weather, you're just in a really, really bad position that, your poult productivity is going to be so low, it's not even going to be funny. That's just it. So, like I said, we're big believers in predator management for certain.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it definitely helps, among other things. And do you do anything else on your properties you think is very helpful for turkeys besides predator management, such as habitat and things like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, we burn. We also take care of making sure we got open sources, we got nesting sources, so forth and so on. Yeah, at the properties that we can do that too, that we do that for certain.
Mm-hmm.
Anything we can do to increase the productivity for that property or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to give some definitive figure because you're especially in the Southeast, you're never going to, I can't even say the Southeast, I should just say east of the Mississippi, you're never going to get an accurate count on how many turkeys you have. But, I think a decent indicator is how many different birds you hear gobble in the spring. Or have you seen an uptick in the number of gobbling turkeys you have in the springtime from when you started your predator trapping and your hot and heavy land management practices?
Yeah, there has been a noticeable increase in that. And, I want to attest that to, we've had some decent hatch weather too, as well, over the last couple of years, some good hatches. So I think that 100% bodes well for that. But I can tell you that there are properties that we've went into that have little to no birds on it when we go in there, and then it seems like an establishment comes in there after that once we start hitting it for a couple of years.
Nice.
And gets them going. And I'm of the thought process, I don't really think that, I don't know if this question is going to come up or not, coyotes get a super bad rap, and they are deer killing machines as far as fawns, okay? There's zero doubt about that. Now, I'm not going to tell you a coyote's a super opportunistic, apex predator. I'm not going to tell you that a coyote will not kill an adult turkey when they get a chance, okay? Because they will, because they could eat right this second and one can walk by them and it's just in their, they have to kill it. You know what I'm saying? This is the way they work. They're wired that way. So
kind of like Cameron.
they got to, it's just the way they're wired. But I don't think that coyotes kill as many adult turkeys as they're given credit for. This is my opinion now. There's going to be some trappers that are going to listen to this and say, he's an idiot. That's all there is to it. And that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. But I do believe that coyotes booger a lot more turkeys than what they kill. And what I mean by that is if you have a lot of coyotes on a landscape where there are turkeys, those coyotes will bumble into them and just basically get these birds to shut down. You know what I'm saying? Where they were normally more vocal than what they are, they will not be so much on that property. I'm not saying that they won't gobble eventually because they'll find safe spaces to be able to do that. However, they keep getting bumped by the same dogs. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be less vocal than what they normally would be. So, that's another reason we get those coyotes out of that property, So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a coyote probably, I assume if he came across a hen that had 12 poults with her, I bet he's able to catch a couple of them. But
Sure. No, and
I always try to
especially, and it's a lot easier here in the South where it's thicker. You know what I'm saying? Especially where we're at. You got a lot of pine stands that are thick, and there's a lot of intersections, ambush points and stuff for these animals. Bobcats are the worst, though. That's the ones I'm happier seeing my wife loves seeing a coyote jumping when we pull up to a trap I'm ecstatic when I see a bobcat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love it because that's your apex. That is the pinnacle turkey predator. You know what I'm saying? Where a coyote, if he hears the turkey gobble or he sees a turkey in a field or sees a turkey in open, yeah, he has no option, but he has to go. His mind gets triggered and he has to go bugger him up or try to whatever. He's going to try to come get him. You know what I'm saying? Where that bobcat, he'll sit on an ambush point. You know what I'm saying? And they'll kill a turkey. If a passel of poults come walking by them at an intersection or whatever they find when they can stop up there, they're going to take one swipe when they jump out. They're going to knock down 5 or 6 at a time. So bobcat's the real deal. That's all there is to it.
Oh yeah, Andy, I don't even think I sent it to you. I don't know if you saw it. The video, we had a camera out this duck season on one of the sloughs that we duck hunt on, and my brother got a video of a bobcat swimming back to shore with a mallard drake. It had jumped out there and caught one.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I'll send that to the group. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Caught a greenhead, and I thought cats didn't like water.
Oh, no. They don't care about that.
Yeah, he's hungry. He's going to eat. That's all there's to it.
Yeah. Well, you got him a duck. And, man, I tell you, for the bobcats, do you use footholds mostly, or are y'all able to use you're not able to use the conibears for them, are you?
No, at least I don't use them. I think you could use conibears if you wanted to for cats. I don't think it's illegal as far as that goes. I could be wrong. I actually have used caged live traps when I first started doing bobcats. I used live traps. I had the large ones, and I was using that, brushing them in real good and making box sets or like cubby sets for them and catching bobcats in those. And then when I started, 7, 8 years ago, coyote trapping, just started catching them in regular in 550s, you know what I'm saying? MB 550s.
Yeah.
So, we just catch them in our 450 sets or our 550 sets, and our footholds is what we catch them in now. Yeah.
Yeah. I built 6 of these kill box deals, and they're pretty efficient. I had on camera behind my house, I knew I had 3 bobcats, and I have killed all 3 of them.
There you go.
And
there you go.
It was quick.
Yep.
And one of those cats had killed 2 of my pet ducks, so I was kind of out for vengeance. But those things work pretty good, and I agree with you. And I think we had a guest on here years ago, and he said something that really resonated with me, that the bobcats, they're not nearly as proficient at reproduction as like the coyotes and stuff are. And I feel like that's true. I don't think they have many kittens, so if you can kill your cats, you really can knock them back.
Right. Yeah. They're smart, man. Like I said, that's the apex predator of the woods right there, in my opinion, anyway. And the one thing about it is, we've always said this to people, even when we catch mangy coyotes, and it goes for every predator we catch, is we've never, even a mangy one, even a sick coyote, we've never caught one that's skinny. They're all healthy, so they're eating every day. That's all there is to it. Or they're eating on a routine basis enough to keep them healthy. You know what I'm saying? So when you're not hunting, they are. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It definitely seems to be the case, no doubt. Now, do you? Yeah. I feel like, so we have a mutual acquaintance. I know you know PJ there in South Carolina, and he said you had a connection to, was it Zach Farmer?
Yeah, Zach. That's right.
Yeah, and so do you build your trumpet similar to how he built his?
I wouldn't say similar. No, that's a similar style as far as the trumpet goes. Zach had his own signature style that he built. Mine look different than his do. Mm-hmm. So and y'all know the trumpet call world. There's a blue million different trumpet call guy that they're making trumpet calls now.
Oh yeah.
And all of them are different in their own little intricate way. You know what I'm saying? They all work on the same principle and serve the same purpose. However, they are all built differently. I don't think anybody wants to be just like the other person, you know what I'm saying, in their identity when it comes to that. So Zach had a very unique trumpet. No one has ever built one, in my opinion, that I've seen that looked like his, And Zach was one of the very first ones that I know of to ever run one as realistic, or hear one's, to be as realistic as I've ever heard one be. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a real turkey when you hear it run, and that's how they should be ran. But that's what Zach was known for, was his trumpets and the fact that he can run them with such proficiency and heightened realism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I've got I don't know if you've ever listened to the show before, but we do this little segment when we have a new guest on called the Rapid Fire Q&A. Okay. And I'd like to see if you'd be willing to play along. The way this thing works is I have 30 questions about turkeys and turkey hunting. I'll put a timer on my phone. We'll start the timer when we start the first question. We just go through them and ask these questions of you as quick as we can. And I think people have gotten a pretty good idea of who we're talking to here already, but it helps them to get to know you a little bit better anyway, since we just have a short amount of time with you. But is that something you'd be willing to do?
Yeah, cool, man. That'd be cool.
All right. So the time to beat, since I'm putting a timer on you, we're going to make this a competition. The time to beat is Michael T. Simpson, and that's 2 minutes and 13.96 seconds.
Man, I'm always slow, dude. I was a slow runner, so y'all go ahead. Get 5 minutes on there right now.
That's smoking fast. I'm surprised I was able to ask questions that quickly because I don't really talk all that fast either. So
there you go.
All right. Well, I'm going to start the timer as soon as I start the first question, and then we will rock and roll through these and see how we do.
Good deal.
All right. Wild turkey, grilled, baked, or fried?
Fried.
Wild turkey on the rocks, neat with cola or with water?
Water.
Number of grand slams?
0.
Have you ever killed a bearded hen?
No.
Have you ever killed a jake?
Yes.
10 minute successful hunt on a 2-year-old or a 4-hour long hunt with a clean miss on a 4-year-old?
Clean miss with the 4-year-old.
Favorite camo pattern?
Bottom lamb.
Wild turkey legs for dinner or for the dog?
Dinner.
More or less than 3 strikers in your turkey vest?
Less.
State you killed your first turkey in?
South Carolina.
State you killed your last turkey in?
South Carolina.
Sit in the blind for 4 hours and squeeze the trigger, or run and gun for 1 hour and not shoot?
Run and gun.
2 3/4 inch, 3 inch, or 3.5 inch shells?
3.
4, 5, 6, or TSS?
TSS.
Fields turkeys or woods turkeys?
Woods.
Pump or automatic?
Pump.
Shotgun scope, rifle sight, holographic sight, or beads?
Hollow.
Rubber boots, leather boots, snake boots, or hiking boots?
Grange all day. Rubber boots.
Favorite place you've ever hunted?
South Carolina, hardwoods, swamp bottom.
Most turkeys you've ever killed in a season?
7.
Least number of turkeys you've ever killed in a season?
5.
Out of all the states you've hunted, which state has the most uncooperative turkeys?
South Carolina.
If you knew how to imitate only one turkey sound to call turkeys, what would it be?
Plain yelp.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a turkey caller do you think you are?
Turkey caller?
Mm-hmm.
9.
Favorite turkey hunting book?
Old Pro.
Who taught you how to turkey hunt?
Myself.
Think of the toughest turkey you've ever hunted. Did you ever kill him?
I did.
Do you prefer long, sharp spurs or long, thick beards?
Spurs.
Biggest mistake new turkey hunters make?
Not enough patience.
How long does turkey season last in heaven, and what is the bag limit?
Hope is endless every day. Bag limit, unlimited.
All right. That was awesome. 2 minutes and 54.21 seconds. That's pretty dang fast.
Pretty stout.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So we get this a lot, but the biggest mistake new turkey hunters make, you said basically lack of patience.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that a little bit. Where do you think that bites them the most?
So I believe the biggest thing, a buddy of mine said this, and it didn't really resonate with me until years later. And I didn't really become accustomed to understanding it until I had children. So I've been turkey hunting about 27 years now, 28 maybe. And growing up, if I didn't hear a turkey off the rip, I was trying to press and make something happen,
Mm-hmm.
Where, later on in life, especially when I had kids, especially young kids where I was not as mobile as I was, I could not be mobile. I had to actually sit there and, wait for turkeys to do their daily morning routine and let them do their turkey things until they were ready to do what I wanted to play with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that lack of patience of not giving a turkey time to do what he has to do on his normal routine. A turkey doesn't have a watch. That's what my buddy told me, He doesn't have a watch. He doesn't have a time schedule that he has to be anywhere or do anything. Mm-hmm. He's doing what nature tells him to do and what his hens tell him to do for the most part. So I think that's what kills most turkey hunters, in my opinion, one, as far as lack of patience. I think not letting the scene unfold. You know what I'm saying? Let the turkey fly down, let them do what they're going to do. Let what is happening around you go. Listen to what's happening. Listen to what the turkeys are doing, seeing what they're doing. Be where they want to be. If you're not, get where they want to be. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that patience deal. I think a lot of people will sit there, and when that turkey hits the ground off the rip in the morning, off the limb, once he gobbles, how many times he's going to gobble to attract hens. Once he shuts down, when the hens get around him, he starts breeding and do his little thing that morning. When he shuts down for that 30 to how many ever minutes he is, they think it's over with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they're not engaged with that turkey, they think the hunt's over with. Now I know it's just a matter of time. Sit there and let this unfold. You know what I'm saying? Let this take place. And you'll be back in the game here shortly, most likely. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you're going to kill him. I'm going to say that the game isn't over when that happens, is what I'm getting at. And a lot of turkey hunters are done at that point.
Yeah. I think it applies just as much for us experienced hunters as it does new hunters, because I'll tell you a story from last season, and I told Cameron this story right. I think it was the day that it happened, but I'd gotten these two birds that were gobbling not long after fly down, maybe 30 minutes or so after fly down. And they were up on a hilltop, and I'd come in just below them. The hill had a pretty good little roll to it, so I was able to get relatively close to them. And they were gobbling. And I got where I felt like I stood a good chance of being able to call them in, and made a call, and they gobbled. I sat there, and in my head, I thought, I'm close enough to where all they really need to do is just come over to the edge of the hill, pop a head up over the hill, and one of them's gone.
Right.
So I didn't think the hunt was going to last very long. Well, 30 minutes later, and so just a few more sporadic gobbles, they'd probably not gobbled in 15 or 20 minutes at that point, that I thought, shoot, they're gone. I mean, they've quit gobbling. They were gobbling good. They quit gobbling. And they're just up there on that hilltop showing off, just walking back and forth. I would imagine they were strutting and gobbling and doing their thing. So the last gobble I hear is going away from me.
Sure.
Well, I can't stand it anymore. So I just start easing up the hill I'm just going to look to see where they were. Was there something between me and them that I didn't know of that was keeping them from coming to me? So if I happen to catch them in here on another day, I'll know that obstacle's there and to set up in a different spot. So I start easing up, and I get to where I think, all right, I should be able to see where those turkeys are. I took 2 more steps, and there they are. It's now been about 45 minutes because I took my sweet time walking up there.
Right.
They had not made a sound in 45 minutes, and they had essentially not moved an inch.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And in your mind, you think they've walked probably 8 miles away. They're out of hearing.
They're in the next. They're sitting on my driveway at my house an hour away by that point in time in my mind, but yet they've not moved an inch. And I kicked my own rear end all the way back to the truck. I'm like, dude.
I feel like at that point they're controlling the mind game, because that's what we do as far as hunting turkeys. We are playing a mind game with something, you know what I'm saying? With an animal that we love. We're trying to fool him into believing that nature is being reversed here, where he should be coming to the hens when actually hens go to him. So we're trying to catch him in a vulnerable state and vulnerable position where he is supposed to come to us. So at that point, you're not hearing him, so the role is reversed. The mind game is on you. Now it's whether can you sit there long enough to withstand this, you know what I'm saying? And have the willpower not to break. It's all about having him break. Well, he just made you break, and now you're going to go look, and the plan's fold then, you know what I'm saying? Cards, and it's over.
Yeah.
For sure.
What Andy just described is so common. I feel like when your mind starts wandering, and then if he does gobble again, you're like, oh, heck yeah, I'm gone 10 feet. He's been sitting there pecking around or doing whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have you stood up after been sitting there? I told my young son this. He's as eat up with turkey hunting as there is anybody, but he's starting to learn his own way, and last year been a couple instances where, birds was close. I don't think Dad, I don't know if he's here anymore. You get ready to stand up, guess what? He was right there. He's waiting for that hen to break, you know what I'm saying? And the game's over at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what I think that's the patience deal. And like I said, I didn't understand that growing up until I had to be in a static position with young kids. You know what I'm saying? We didn't, like I said, my son killed his first one when he was 5 years old. And at that age, they're not ready to walk around and run and gun. You can't drag them through the woods they can't walk like grown men can. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a different story, but back then for the first few years, you just couldn't. So you had to learn. You learned a lot. I learned a lot more about turkeys and what turkeys, their routines were. You know what I'm saying? and just to just sit back and just let's see what they're going to do. And I think that's very important. I think that patience virtue right there is something that everybody needs to understand.
Yeah, I agree completely. Tell me about the toughest turkey you ever hunted. You said you killed him.
Yep. Yeah. I hunted one, this has been several years ago, and I say he was tough. Maybe I was just stupid. I don't know. It's a possibility that it was the latter, to be honest with you, okay? But he roosted in this small pond in the backside of this field on a hunting club, which we've got a club here close to the house that we hunt that a lot of other people hunt as well. So they're picked on pretty good bit, you know. If they're seen out there in the fields, these boys are going to hunt them, or someone's going to hunt them. That's all there is to it. But I had hunted this bird. It was 13 days I hunted him. And like I said, some people are going to say, well, he's not much of a hunter, but it took him 13 days, and maybe that is true. It took me 13 days to kill him. But yeah, finally one morning early, I just had enough of fighting him back and forth in this pond. One morning he'd fly one way, he never rhyme or reason which way he was going to pitch. He'd have usually 2 or 3 hens with him. And the last day when I finally did kill him, I went in there tight with him early one morning. I got about 2 a.m. and slipped in and got tight within about 60 yards and ended up soft calling when he first gobbled. I soft called one time and he pitched down and come straight to me. So just so happened I think it was the second to the last day of the season. But it was dark. It was time for me to go in there, and that's when I slipped in there early one morning and got in there up under him, for the most part, up under his roof. So it was just one of them things. But he was a tough turkey, I can tell you right now. I could not kill him. I fought him for 13 days straight and thought I was going to lose my mind. And I thought I had him a couple times and never could kill him. So, yep.
You think the key with him was just getting in tight because he always had hens with him?
Yeah. I mean, he was always going to do whatever those hens. He was always with those 2 or 3 hens. So, I was always setting up. The way that pond was set up, it was so open in there. I was never comfortable getting within 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? It was such an open bottom. But that morning I just said, you know what? I'm going to go in there early. I'm going to make it like a deer. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to slip in there through this pond, and I'm going to get tight. And that's what I did. I picked my way through that thing, early that morning, and that's what I did. And, yeah, I think getting in there close, getting in his bubble, you know what I'm saying? I think that helped me, to kill him, to be honest with you. And that's how I like to do it. I do like to kill mine off the roost for the most part in the mornings. I like killing birds early. So I like getting tight. And that, like I said, that was several years ago when this happened or whatever. But I do believe that did lead toward that bird. Yeah.
Yeah. That bubble is key. If you can't get in that bubble, you just go on home. You're wasting time.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I was always every morning that I would get where I thought he would be, like I said, was 80 to 100 yards away, and if he pitched the other way, I was immediately out of it. You know what I'm saying? If he pitched toward me for some reason with the hens, and I was in the game for a little bit, but they never would break that magical number. You know what I'm saying? Never would.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that last morning when he gobbled, like I said, he was 50 or 60 yards when he gobbled. I knew that I was in the game for sure then, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I had one last year like that. It was only 4 days, so a little less, but very similar, and did the exact same thing. I literally sat, I bet he wasn't 15 yards from me, sitting on a limb. I was staring at him when it got light.
Yep.
And he flew down. It was just all perfect, and then missed him. So that ended it great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was actually 2 years ago. That was back when I was missing turkeys more often.
Yeah, that sucks too. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I could say that turkey was just a hard turkey to hunt, but realistically, the terrain he lived in and where he lived, it was just a spot that was difficult to get into. You know what I'm saying? And get on him. So it just made it. But I mean, it was worthwhile. I did learn a lot from that turkey. You know what I'm saying? You learn a lot more from the ones that you take your time with and you work hard for than you do for the ones that you just, all of a sudden are, flash hunts. You know what I mean? You learn a lot more from those. So regardless of whether he was a big bird, a 2-year-old, or a 5, whatever, you know what I'm saying? If he had hooks or whatever, he still took you on a pretty good story right there, and you learned something from it. But that was a difficult bird, no doubt about it. That time and that layout, and it was pretty tough.
Yeah,
for me anyway. You could probably take somebody else in there; they probably kill him in a day. I don't know, but it was pretty rough.
Yeah, some kid's first turkey. Yeah,
that's right.
That's about right.
That's right. That's right.
a lot of what makes a turkey hard, and maybe it's the turkey, but a lot of times it's where he chooses to set up shop, which is what you're kind of saying. He picks a spot. He's smart enough that he picks a spot that's very advantageous to the turkey.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. Usually, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. His roost spot is pretty important to him. That's where he lays his head at night. That's where he's most vulnerable when he puts his feet on the ground early the next morning. So he needs to be able to see around him pretty good and everything else. So
yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. When you enter his home, it's just like everything else. When you enter his home, that's where he lays his head. So he knows what's going on in there.
Yeah. How many years have you been turkey hunting, Ricky?
About 27, 28, I think now. Yeah.
Did you learn from your dad?
Yep. No, my dad didn't hunt. My dad was a fisherman. I mean, he loved to fish and everything else, but he really didn't hunt that much. I actually learned to hunt with a couple of my buddies. We were high school buddies, and they were gracious enough to allow me to tag along with them and hunt with them. And we all kind of learned to turkey hunt together and probably scared off more turkeys in the county than any place else around South Carolina, to be honest with you, in those first few years, and still managed to kill some, which is a testament to how many turkeys we had back then. But we learned a lot from them, no doubt about it. They taught us a lot of lessons, but we weren't the best turkey hunters, that's for certain. But we learned a lot, and now we're all really good turkey hunters, I feel like, anyway.
Hey, that's how you learn.
And we enjoy it. That's right. I mean, like I said, we were young, 15, 16-year-olds, and I don't think any of us collectively knew what we were doing other than just putting a vest on, some camouflage, a shotgun with some lead fives, and we thought we were big stuff back then. And we weren't. I can tell you that right now. I'm humble enough to realize that I'm, wasn't the best back then for certain. But we learned a lot, and we did have a bunch of turkeys that we could afford to, bulk turkeys and everything else, and didn't realize just how fortunate we were with the numbers we had. But yep. And we still hunt together to this day and laugh about those times when we were younger, figuring it out.
Yeah. I did that a lot with my buddies too. We just sit around and say, "Remember that turkey that I did this on?" And it's like, "Oh my God, you're such an idiot." We got a couple of older members of the club that we are members of that still give us the devil today, because we all, like I said, this club is a club that we can all hunt together. It's a hunting club, and them old fellas didn't like us young cats none, because we were, as they called us, the turkey hunting disasters. That's what we were. So people can get a good laugh out of that, but that was a true story. We were rough. We know a little bit. We're better now, though.
Well, the club population's probably good. A lot of good educated turkeys.
That's right. Yeah, they didn't. That's exactly right. They were dang sure educated. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, you do all this trapping and habitat work. All you got to do is go spook them a bunch and they don't get killed.
That's right. That's exactly right. Go out there and booger them up. That way nobody else can kill them.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm pretty sure that's what PJ did for me last year in South Carolina. But
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Go out there, shoot over their heads a couple times with some dove loads, make them figure it out.
Yeah, you yelp at him while you're doing it. Let them know. Yeah. Stand up and yelp at him while you're doing it. That's right.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Stand up and yelp.
Stand up and yelp.
Stand up and yelp. Exactly right.
There's your advice from today. Ricky Padgett's keys to success.
The one turkey tactic that never fails: stand up and yelp.
Stand up and yelp. Exactly.
Lean into it.
Oh, yeah. Make sure they see you when you do it, though. Make sure they see you when you do it.
Yeah, get them within range where you can see them, and then stand up and yelp.
I like it. I like that a lot. Man.
That should be our next T-shirt. Yeah. Ricky, you in on making some stand up and yelp T-shirts? We'll get all these new hunters trained up right.
We can do it.
I'm gonna put it on a flat bill rope hat so it'll sell.
There you go.
There you go. That's good.
Well, Ricky, you want to tell folks if they're interested in? Do you have a website? How do people get a call? They just need to get hold of you?
Oh, yeah. So there is a website. I'm on social media, Facebook, all platforms for the most part. AllureCustomCall.com, Facebook, Instagram, website, everything else. So they can 100% reach out to me on there, click on my email address, send me a message, and I'll get back with you if you're interested. Certain.
And I'll throw a link in the show notes to the website.
Yeah.
Cool. And see if we can get some folks steered over your direction. Do you have a waiting list for trumpets? right now?
There is a waiting list. Yeah, there is. You know, being that our season's about to start here just about a week and a half, I'm going to be shutting down shop, and I'll be hunting for, until mid-May. So I won't be in the shop doing it. So I pretty much make my hay between, October until this time right now, mid-March. And I pretty much shut down and hunt the spring and then start back up late May or June, get everything going. But there is a waiting list. There is. But they're welcome to reach out to me. I'll take their name down, everything else, if they're interested, so forth, so on.
Yeah.
Man, I just hopped on your website. Those are some pretty calls.
I appreciate it, buddy.
And I know the goal isn't probably just for them to be pretty and sit on a mantle, but they do look good.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, they got to first have the sound and have a hen in there that you got to get out. But, it does, like I said, the outside is just a byproduct of time, making it look, I would hate to have something that looks totally ugly. But how they sound is the most important part for certain. But it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt one bit that they do look good as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, I get you
For
there.
certain.
Well,
For
hopefully
certain.
folks will go check that out. Ricky, I hope you have a great turkey season coming up here. And I guess you got about 3 weeks, 3 weeks before you'll be cranking off. So hopefully it.
Yeah, 28th is our youth opener, and we open up the following, the 3rd, which is the following Friday. So,
that's right.
Yeah, we're getting up to it. The weather's getting right, man. It was good this morning. They killed it this morning here.
Heck yeah.
It was 33, 34 degrees this morning. So and clear and high pressure, and they were smoking it.
Yeah, that's turkey weather for sure.
No doubt.
Yep. And the big storm that pushed through yesterday, which I knew they were probably going to gobble pretty good after that, and they did this morning. So it was nice.
Very cool. If that doesn't get you fired up, nothing will.
I'm telling you, it's that time of the year. Dogwoods are blooming. So
it is. It has come back to us. We may get to see it one more time.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
exactly
me.
Right.
Ricky, thank you so much. I'm so glad you get to join us. I've really enjoyed this. We'll have to have you back on sometime.
Heck yeah.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I hope y'all guys have a good spring. Anything I can ever do for you, please let me know, man. Thank y'all so much.
We'll certainly do it. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck to you this spring. Send us some dead turkey pictures.
We'll do it, man. Thank y'all so much.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
What a nice guy.
Another South Carolina man. I feel like we went through a stretch there of South Carolina and South Georgia. Like we kind of hit that region of the country. We were on the phone with those people a lot.
Yes, we have been.
We made the gambit through there, but man, there's some darn good turkey hunters, and historically been some really good turkey hunters coming out of that area.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's certain states around the country that I think we could have a call maker on our show once a week, every single week for an entire year and not scratch the surface. I think South Carolina might be one of those. I think PA is another one. And, it just seems like certain states, they just breed turkey call makers, good ones too.
I would say those two are very strong contenders for sure. And turkey callers, not just makers.
Yeah. We've talked about this as well. If you don't think PA is a big turkey hunting state, look at the calling competition competitors.
Yeah. 60% of them are from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
it is that. But another great one. Enjoyed it. I hope everybody's turkey season is hopefully not over yet by the time you hear this. It very well may be, though. The things are winding down, and hopefully everybody had a successful, safe, very enjoyable season measured by how many days you're able to get in the spring woods. That is the key metric in my mind.
No doubt about it. No doubt. That is the key. So, yeah, I hope the same. And for those of you who are wrapping things up here in the next 7 to 14 days, best of luck to you. Stay safe and get after it. The clock is ticking quickly.
Yeah, it is. Getting going.
Yeah.
Well, you have a favor of the week and want to wrap us up?
Well, I will say this. There are still nests on the ground. So the favor of the week is do not mow.
Oh, great favor of the week.
And get out there and trap, because there's also poults on the ground. I'm hearing lots and lots of reports of poults on the ground. So trap and do not mow. I'm going to roll that into
Great
one
favor of the week.
Yeah, be lazy, but not too lazy. Get out and trap.
Yeah, man, I swear, like everyone around me this weekend just decided, man, it's time to mow. And I was just driving around. I was like,
yeah.
Why? Why would you mow your CRP right now? That should be the CRP program should ban mowing in the month of May and June.
I say we make a movement.
Ugh.
Let's get a petition going that CRP bans mowing in May, June, early July.
It would be a good thing. I couldn't believe it when I saw one big CRP field just getting mowed to the ground, and I thought there is no way there wasn't a nest in there. I would be more shocked than not if the guy said there was no nest. Like, it had to be. Probably more than one.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Hopefully people are getting it. Look into the research, but if you don't believe in all that, look at the research the University of Tennessee did. I think it was 10 or 15% of nests that they monitored were destroyed by mowing.
Yeah.
That's a big swing in the population right there.
It is without a doubt. You got to think, and I don't want to dwell on this a whole lot, but people are going to say, well, it's just 10 or 15% of the nests. But if you had 10 gobbling turkeys on your 2,000 acres, it'd be nice to have 11. The other part of it is the more poults you have on the ground at the same time, the better the survival rate is. So,
and if that nest is still there in June when you drive over it, or end of May, it's already made it through a lot of days without getting predated.
Oh man, isn't that the truth? Yeah, those eggs could literally be hatching
away from
anytime.
hatching.
Yeah,
it's one day away, and you mowed it and killed 12 eggs that were coming out tomorrow.
And the hen, most likely.
If
it's that close,
the hen too.
Yeah, she's probably not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, great favor of the week. Not to dwell on it. Great favor of the week.
All right, man. Well, travel safely this week.
Wrap us up.
Yeah,
I will. Hopefully.
Y'all travel safely. Have a great time. Be careful. Send me some pics. I can't wait to live vicariously through you for the next week or so.
We'll do it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We know that you have choices. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in. You were just listening to the Turkey Hunter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please go on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And make sure to head over to www.iamturkeyhunting.com to subscribe for free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews to help you have a more successful turkey season. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes on hunting afternoon birds, how to film your hunt, and the breeding cycle of hens, as well as some guest interviews. Thanks again for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. See you next week.